Good morning, Mighty Bulldogs. This is your principal, Mr. Rubio, with your morning announcements on this wonderful Wednesday, September 30th. Today is a B-Day. Hit you with a little bit of cumbia because why not? It's Wednesday. It's hump day. I hope you're doing well. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. Le prometo lealtad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa, una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. And now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Now please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. We do have two birthdays today to acknowledge. Well, there's just like a ton of birthdays around the world, but we have two to acknowledge today. Happy birthday to Isaí Salas in 6th grade, and happy birthday to Jose Huerta in 10th grade. You all share a birthday with author Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's probably most famous for writing Between the World and Me, but he also wrote, he's also the author of a couple Black Panther comics. So, he wrote some special edition Black Panther comics that I would definitely check out. If you get a chance. Hispanic Heritage Month today, our spotlight is on probably one of the most recognizable figures in the world, really. And I think, let me see, yeah, there she is. She's on the upper left-hand side. If you don't know who that woman is, it is Frida Kahlo. Definitely, absolutely, again, one of the most famous faces that we have in this world. So, who was Frida Kahlo? Just a little bit. This is not going to do Frida Kahlo justice at all, but, you know, I will try. So, she is originally from Coyoacán, Mexico City. Coyoacán is a part of la Ciudad de Mexico, and born in 1907 in La Casa Azul. So, I'll talk a little bit about La Casa Azul. She spent most of her life, she was born, raised there. She spent most of her life living there. Let me just do the quick spell check. We'll ignore that. I need to do this before. I'm so sorry. Okay. Anyways. So really she had a tough formative years in the sense of she contracted polio when she was young. So that kept her bedridden for 9 months. And then she had a really bad accident when she was 18, in which, really the bus accident, I think her hip was impaled. She broke her pelvis. She had to be in a body cast for 3 months. And it was during this time where she kind of picked up, again, she was 18, so she picked up this love for painting again. And so she continued to paint, or really she picked it back up. And that kind of started the chain of events for the next phase of her life, in which, you know, you can't talk about Frida Kahlo without talking about Diego Rivera. You can't talk about Diego Rivera without talking about Frida Kahlo. Like, they were two, probably arguably the two most famous Mexican artists. They, not at the time, but now. She married him in 1929. It was not the happiest of marriages, but it was important for both of them in terms, at least professionally and personally, in terms of growth. So in 1930, she did a lot of traveling with Diego because he would do a lot of murals, around the U.S. and the world. So in a visit to France, her frame was purchased by the Louvre. If you don't know what the Louvre is, it is arguably the most famous art museum in the entire world. And, she was the first Mexican artist to have her painting commissioned by the Louvre. So this was the first time that we had a Mexican artist, their art in the Louvre. So she spent a lot of her life, you know, pushing back on questions of class, race, sexuality, economics, just generally, not just in Mexico, but obviously this is a time where around the world, and especially, definitely in Mexico, where women, you know, weren't given the same access to men. And so she pushed a lot on that. Frida Kahlo passed away in 1954, so she was only 47 when she passed away. She had just turned 47. And, you know, going back to the bus accident, she just was plagued with you know, issues from that accident throughout really the rest of her life. So, her most famous painting is here. I think it's called, the Hummingbird. I know it has to do with the hummingbird. Sorry, I knew it and it's escaping me right now. And then La Casa Azul. This is a smaller picture of La Casa Azul, which is where she lived and grew up, and is now a museum that you can visit in Mexico. National Suicide Prevention Month today is the last day of National Suicide Prevention Month. However, even though it is the last day, we should always remember to take care of ourselves. Mental health is priority one. Please reach out to, really any adult if you need support. Deborah Williams is our amazing social worker. You can also call the national hotline if you need anything regarding just like questions about yourself or questions about something you love. If anyone's talking about hurting themselves, it's really important that we discuss this with someone. Our meals update for today, same as usual, 10:30 to 12:30. Parents need their ID card, and here are the bus routes. Again, please call Ms. Reed with bus questions. There is one of the stops. There's the other one of the stops. Our scheduled for today is here for 6th and 7th grade. It is here for 8th grade. Remember, today's a B day. And it is here for high school. Has not changed this week. Grades for quarter one are due exactly in a week. So please make sure you're communicating with your teachers if you haven't already. Your teachers are, I know this because I know my teachers, they're willing to work with you, but you have to reach out, y'all. So just know that your grades are due by October 7th. Attendance is the other piece. You can't pass your classes if you're not at school. Remember, you can be marked present if you are attending classes virtually, or obviously if you're here in person. The state of Texas has given you that option this year, but some of you are still missing multiple days. So remember, 90% of the year you have to be in class. Otherwise, after 18 days, the school is allowed to deny credit or not allow a student to progress to the next grade level. So make sure you're in class. Census last day is today as well. Wow, everything's happening today. Last day is today for the census. So please make sure you fill it out. Call 211 or visit atxcensus2020.com to learn more. ACT on October 6th. I'll talk a little bit more about this in the next coming days, but this is just a general reminder for you all. And then we have Loteria night tonight as well. So every student will get a card on campus. And then if you are remote, you can request a card at montopolisloteria@gmail.com. You will receive a card. Join us from 6 to 7. Visit that URL, tinyurl.com/bulldogloteria. And esports. So last year was, well, I would say maybe our first year truly doing the esports team, although we kind of started the year before. This is for high school students. So all high school students interested in competing in esports, you still can. There are a ton of different games offered. You can play on different systems. There is a fall tournament on October 12th. The deadline is October 9th. So that's coming up really quickly. For a virtual information session, it will be on October 5th. Please, you can do, there's basically two things you should do. You could Teams Mr. Ruiz, or you should email Mr. Ruiz for more information as soon as possible. So go ahead and please do that as well. Just some general reminders for those of you on campus. Masks must be worn at all times. Please maintain social distancing. Remember to grab a pass to the restroom, which y'all are doing great. PE will start next week, although we'll phase that out. But we plan to start next week. And remember that all of this is new, so thank you for your patience in doing this. And speaking of masks, this is the good way to wear a mask, y'all. Your mask should actually cover your nose and your mouth because you breathe through both, or you breathe in and breathe out through both. And make sure your mask is not too tight as well. So a couple errors that we see, we often see people not fully cover their nose. So that's definitely one thing that you want to fix. And then make sure your mask is not too tight. You should have a little bit of breathing space in there. Proper mask use is on top there. Then dismissal looked great yesterday. We will do the same again today. Great job, walkers, leaving the building when you were asked to leave the building. Beautiful. And because this is our first time and we are going to have a fire drill, normally you don't want to communicate this to kids just because it's a drill, right? And you want to simulate the real thing as much as possible. But this is the new reality. So make sure that I just want to let you know it will occur sometime after 1. It will be staggered, meaning not everyone will be doing it at the same time. Please remain calm. Follow your teacher's instructions. Continue to use your mask. Maintain 6 feet of social distancing. It's important that you have any headphones out of your ears so that you can listen to instructions. And please don't have your phones out during this time. You got to keep them away. Okay, during any drill, we're asking that way you can follow instructions. For questions, text us. Don't call us. Text us there. Follow us on Facebook.com/Montopolis College Prep. And remember that Bulldogs are determined, optimistic. Bulldogs are generous. Bulldogs are strong. And if no one tells you today, remember that we love you, believe in you, and always will. Have a wonderful Wednesday, Mighty Bulldogs, learning online or learning in person online. Let's continue to be safe. Let's have a great hump day. Now it's time for Move This World.